Hey, what's up everyone, it's Patrick, and welcome to my guide to Do No Evil on RuneScape 3. There is an item list for this quest in this video, but it's going to be a slide right after this. I need to separate it because it was just so long, but this is the quest and skill requirements, which should be self-explanatory, with the exception of bring Leela back to Senliten's tomb and restore Senliten to 100%. Senliten is the mummy from the Missing My Mummy quest, and although it's not required, you should have restored her to 100% already if you follow the half-decent guide for that quest. Bringing Leela back to Senliten's tomb, Leela can be found by the fence north of Draenor Village jail. You can wait until you're ready to start the quest to do this. I'll also be showing how to do it in the video as well. Here is the ridiculous item list for this quest. I know there's a lot going on here, so let me just explain first. Under items needed, the green text highlights the items that you actually need. The red text points out untradeable items, which there are a few of them here, and the white text explains where to get each item. You'll not be able to carry everything on you at once. On top of that, there is a part of the quest in the beginning where you ideally want as much inventory space as possible. So you should really only bring the first 5 items on this list with the stars next to them. Items recommended are mostly just teleports that you get around. You can also bring all those if you want. Anyways, feel free to pause this if you need this, as I'm going to get straight into the quest now. This video is brought to you by the awesome members of my Patreon. If you want access to some exclusive perks, check out the link in the description below. Enjoy the video, everyone. This is for the people who have not brought Leela back to Senliten's tomb yet. Go to the area in Draenor Village shown by a yellow marker. Speak to Leela and select option 2, sure, let's go. Speak to Senliten and just wait a few seconds. Speak to Senliten twice and select option 2 both times. Also, for everyone to start the quest, if you're not already here, go to Senliten's tomb. Easiest way to get here would be use fairy ring code DLQ and run east. To actually start the quest, speak to Senliten once again, then select options 2, 3, and accept the quest. Go to the area in Sophanem shown by a yellow marker. How I got there was by using a Potent of each teleport and taking a magic carpet from there. You can also use a charged Pharaoh Scepter to teleport to Pyramid Plunder, or a Sophanem Slayer dungeon teleport. Speak to Jex and select options 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then you can ignore main chat options or refer to what's written on screen. Once again, the options are 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then you can ignore main chat options. Head south, take out your cat or kitten if it's not already out. Speak to the Sphinx and select options 2, 3, 4. Go back to Senliten. Enter the pyramid and select option 1, head directly to Pharaoh Queen. Speak to Senliten and select option 2, talk about Do No Evil. Head to the temple in Apatol. I got there using fairy ring code CLR, which will bring you to the agility course. And if you're going this way, you'll need a small ninja monkey Gree to complete the agility course in order to get down from there. By the way, be sure to pick up your cat or kitten before you transform, as you can't do the course with it out. Make sure you have a Gree on if you haven't already. It doesn't matter which one, as well as a monkey speak amulet. Speak to 3 wise monkeys in the northwest corner of the building and select option 1 twice. This part's kind of annoying. It might take you several tries, and this is the part I was referring to in the beginning when I said you want to have as much inventory space as possible. I carried everything with me, but had to put on some of the quest items to free up some space. But anyways, go to the northeast corner of the room where you'll find a crate with a pile of bananas. You want to grab as many as possible to fill up your inventory. You can click and drag it onto your action bar, so when you press that key, you can quickly drop one. Then basically what you have to do here is lead the monkey guard away from the 3 wise monkeys around to the crate of bananas by dropping a trail of bananas. There are a few things that make it hard. If you fail, the monkey guard will just go back to starting point and you have to try again. The bananas can't be more than a few spaces apart, or else I guess the monkey can't see it. Once again, it'll go back. You can't drop them too close to gorilla guards either, or else they'll eat them, which by the way means you have to go south all the way around the temple instead of just going directly east. Try to not put the bananas anywhere where there's something in the way, like a wall or something. You can't take too long to drop each banana either. If the trail ends, he will go back to the beginning. I'm putting up on screen a picture of roughly the path that I made, but you do not have to follow this exactly. Once successful, the monkey guard will just stay here at the bananas, then you can go back to 3 wise monkeys. Speak to the monkeys, take off your Gree and speak to them again. Put your Gree back on, speak to them once again, then select options 2 and 4. Go to the building south of the temple, speak to the elder guard on the south side of the building to get in, speak to a Wowogi and select options 1, 5, 3. Speak to the elder guard to the south to exit the building. Head to the crafting shop right outside the temple. Buy a monkey speak amulet mold from the shop. You now need to go in Narda. You can use whatever teleport. I personally used the Pull Navish teleport scroll and took the magic carpet from there. Fairy ring to Pharaoh Queen DLQ is just a bit north from there. But when you get to Narda, the first thing you actually want to do is head to the bank. You need runes to cast an ice spell about 20 times. This was on the item list in the beginning, but I'll mention it again. You of course also need to be on the Ancient Magic spellbook. Ice Barrage is the best spell to use. Ice Burst is the second best, and Ice Blitz the third best. I am aware Ice Blitz is the higher level spell, but trust me, it's just how it is. Do not use Ice Rush. That one doesn't do anything. When you have your runes and you're on the spellbook, head to the market in Narda. Before going any further, I would suggest watching this part first as it is very time sensitive. Basically, what you do here is speak to Roka and select options 1, 1, 2 to receive something called a Chimp Ice. The goal is to bring it back to the king, but there's two conditions. One, you can't teleport, which I'll go over in a minute, and two, is a limited amount of time before it melts. You can refreeze it using the ice spells. Ice Barrage will make it last 60 seconds, Ice Burst will make it last 45 seconds, and Ice Blitz will make it last 35 seconds. So next time your girlfriend complains, tell her she's just using the wrong spell. But no, seriously, you simply refreeze it by clicking on the Chimp Ice in your inventory, and I wouldn't wait until the last second to do it. I would say give yourself like a good 5 to even 10-second buffer. Alright, now the part where you can't teleport. I'm going to cover two travel methods here. The first one is my preferred way of doing it, but it requires the completion of the Eagle's Peak quest. The second way has no requirements, but is longer. I'm going to put up timestamps for both of them. After speaking to Roka and selecting options 1, 1, 2, you take the magic carpet to the west to go to Uzer. Run north to the Desert Eagle Lair. Enter the cave. You haven't used this eagle before, you have to shift the boulder blocking the entrance. There's a rope spawn here if you need one, but use a rope on the Desert Eagle to travel to Eagle's Peak. Exit the cave through a northwest entrance. Climb down the rock shortcut or go around. There is a shortcut along the western fence of Gnome Stronghold to southwest. Go towards there and jump over it. Go to the Grand Tree. Climb up one floor. Head to the bar to southeast. Right click Dayro, choose travel, and select the first option that says yes. Right click Wadar, choose travel, and select the first option that says yes. Right click Lumdo, choose travel, and select the first chapter that says yes. Apatol apparently serves as a checkpoint, so if your ice melts, you can start again by returning to Lumdo. Just an FYI, you cannot use the spells in monkey form, but you are allowed to get yourself thrown in jail. So if you cast it right before you reach the entrance of the city, then get yourself thrown in jail. Maybe cast it again right before you're ready to escape from jail. You should have enough time to make it back to the king. Speak to a Wowogi to receive a barrel. I'm going to cover the second travel method now. If you already did it, you can skip the timer in on screen. Once again, when you're ready to begin, you speak to Roka and select options 1, 1, 2. You take the magic carpet in Narda to the west to go to Shantae Pass. Speak to Shantae and ask him what is this place. Then I'm definitely an outlaw, prepare to die, and deport me to Port Sarum. You'll be sent to the Port Sarum jail, pick the lock to get out, then travel from Port Sarum to Catherby using the charter ship to the south. Then, unfortunately, all you can do from here is run straight to Grand Tree, which is why this is the long way. I'm just going to put up a map of it, so feel free to pause if you need this, as I'm going to move on to the next part. I will show you what to do next when you get there. Climb up one floor, head to the bar to southeast, right-click Dayro, choose Travel, and select the first option that says yes. Right-click Wadar, choose Travel, and select the first option that says yes. Right-click Lumdo, choose Travel, and select the first chapter that says yes. Apatol apparently serves as a checkpoint, so if your ice melts, you can start again by returning to Lumdo. Just an FYI, you cannot use the spells in monkey form, but you are allowed to get yourself thrown in jail. So if you cast it right before you reach the entrance of the city, then get yourself thrown in jail. Maybe cast it again right before you're ready to escape from jail. You should have enough time to make it back to the king. Speak to a Wowogi to receive a barrel. Speak to the elder guard to leave and go back to Three Wise Monkeys in the temple. Speak to the Three Wise Monkeys. Use the bandit camp lodestone, which I don't know why anyone wouldn't have this unlocked, but if not, walk there and go unlock it before doing anything else. It'll help a lot for his quest. Go around to the area shown by a yellow marker. You're on a hill or something, by the way. Don't think you can just cut through. Stand near the three rocks that are neatly lined up next to each other. Open the barrel monkeys and speak to them once they're out. Head to the area in Al Crid shown by a yellow marker. You might also want to stop at the bank first. You need your ring of Karas A as well as Ava's accumulator. While wearing your ring of Karas A, speak to Ali Morsane and select option 2, talk about do no evil. Go to Ava in Draenor Manor. Search the candle sconce to get into the room. Speak to Ava and select option 5, talk about making a metal detector. Pull the lever to get out of the room. Head to the room in the southeast corner of the manor. Pick up the spade and exit the room, then head around to the fountain in the southwest corner of the manor property. Wear Ava's alerter that's in your inventory. There's a dead tree here that you can convert to a hidey hole. Stand 2 steps east of it on the south side, then dig in that exact spot with your spade to receive a crate, then head back to Ava. Speak to Ava and select option 5, talk about Ava's alerter. Head back to the monkeys near the bandit camp. I'm putting up a map on screen. This area is just a bit northeast of where the monkeys are in the desert. You have to dig roughly around these areas to find certain items. The item you're specifically looking for is called a bundle of carpets, but while you're looking for that, you'll also find some uncut gems and water skins, which are also needed for the quest, so just hang on to those. I don't think it's possible to receive the carpet before the gems and water skins, but worst case, you can just go buy them later if you're missing anything. So how do you actually find these items? When you have your Ava's alerter on and you go near these areas, you'll see chicken noises come from your chat box. That's coming from the alerter and it's telling you you're near something where you can dig. The more chicken noises you see going on in the same line, that means you're getting closer, and it shows you 4 chicken noises in a row like in the same line, that means you're right on top of something and you should dig there with your spade. The places where you can dig are not exactly the same for everyone, so unfortunately you're on your own here. It also means the red dots on this map aren't precise, they just give you a rough idea of where you might find something. So let's say you're following the map and you feel like you're standing on an exact spot where a red dot might be, but you don't see 4 chicken noises in your chat box in a row, you're probably not in the right spot, although you should still be pretty close. But just walk in a direction and see if more chicken noises come up. If you encounter any scarabs, you have to kill them first and dig in the same spot again to receive the actual items. Once you have the bundle of carpets, head to 3 Wise Monkeys. Speak to monkeys once to give them the carpets. Speak to the monkeys a second time to receive a book. You just have to open the book, you don't have to flip through it. Remove the rubble from the 4 building spots in Colony is the 4 patches of rocks that you see nearby. Before we continue, you have to go to the bank and get some stuff. You probably have to bank anything that's not on this list. As you can see, you need a bunch of stuff. This whole list is items you need. I just categorize them in an attempt to save you some space. The first group is stuff you have to hold like normal in your inventory. The second group is stuff that you can wear. Third group is stuff you can bring noted. And fourth group is stuff you should have already obtained from digging through the desert previously. If you're missing anything, just be sure to get it. When you have everything though, head back to Monkeys in the Desert. Feel free to pause if you need this, as I'm going to get into the next part now. Build on the 4 plots using your bolts of cloth and teak planks. Click on any of the empty stalls and select option 1 for gems. Take off your desert shirt, robe, and boots, then click on a different empty stall and select option 2 for general equipment. Click on the last empty stall and select option 3 for bananas. Speak to the wise monkeys. Speak to them again and select option 2, right, I'll get on with it. Head to his building in Ape Atoll. You need your Gorilla Grigri, whatever teleport method to get there, and don't forget a small Ninja Grigri if you're using the Fairy Ring. The code is CLR. When you get here, put on your Gorilla Grigri, and similar to how blackjacking works in thieving, where you knock out the person and pickpocket them, you're going to do that to these monkey knife fighters until you receive 6 monkey knives. The only difference is you don't need a blackjack. You, as a gorilla, is a blackjack, and you don't have to isolate them. You can pickpocket them twice if you're fast enough each time you knock them out. Once you have the 6 monkey knives, go back to 3 wise monkeys by the bandit camp. Speak to the monkeys. Speak to them again. Head back to pyramid with the Pharaoh Queen. The fairy ring to get near there is DLQ. Enter a pyramid and select option 1. Head directly to Pharaoh Queen, then watch the cutscene. Speak to Senliten and select option 2 twice. Go back to Monkey Colony by the bandit camp, which, by the way, you will need a Ghost Speak amulet. Investigate a corpse to get a ghost monkey to appear. Put on the Ghost Speak amulet and attempt to speak to the ghost monkey. Take off the Ghost Speak amulet, then use it on the Monkey Speak amulet to create a Cramulet. Wear the Cramulet and speak to Ghost Monkey again, and select option 3. I must try to rescue them. You now need to prepare for combat. This fight is going to be in Poland Beach if you want to use a Bankineer there or something like in Narda. For this fight, you need either masked earmuffs, which can be made by combining a face mask and earmuffs, or a Slayer helmet. You need to wear that as well as the Cramulet, and you could use whatever else for the rest of your gear. Fill your inventory with food and whatever supplies you need for combat. When you're ready, go to the well in the middle of Poland Beach. Climb down the well, head directly north. Pass through the red wavering mystic barrier. I would recommend not finishing the conversation quite yet, as they'll throw you into the fight right after, and it's not a safe death. So let me explain how it works first. You have to fight this red gorilla looking thing. During the fight, it can force your helmet off, which will cause you to take damage from the smoke and lower your stats until you put it back on. It attacks using all combat styles, so I guess just protect from whatever you're weakest against, or use Soul Split for prayers. Although I will say this fight isn't that hard. I did it with virtually no armor and only used half an inventory of sharks. Not that I would recommend such a setup for everyone, because I don't know if you can survive off of it. I just like to make things harder for myself. Anyways, you can begin if you haven't already by finishing the conversation and select option 2. You're going to die here. If you die, by the way, your grave appears outside of the well. After the fight, finish up all the dialogue and you end up back at the monkey colony. Speak to the ghost monkey once again. You now get into another fight with a very similar creature, so restock on supplies. You don't need your Slayer helmet for this one, but you will need 2 ropes. Keep your Cramulet. You may also want to bring more stuff to store prayer if you plan on using it, as the next enemy will drain prayer points. Do not get rid of anything else. When you're ready, head to a Cow Fight lair. You can get there using Fairy Ring code BIQ. Climb down tunnel entrance. You may have to use a rope on it to access it. Make your way to the very end of this tunnel. You can, of course, also use the shortcuts like myself. Climb down tunnel entrance. Once again, you may have to use a rope on it to access it. You can select option 1 for uninstance encounter. Head towards the north wall, and closer to the west side, you may see a red line on your minimap. There's a hole there. Climb down the hole. Once again, you may not want to finish the conversation just yet, as you get into a fight right after. The next enemy drains prayer points. Moving too far away from it will cause it to launch a strong projectile at you, so it may be best to stay within melee distance and tank those hits. You may also want to use Protect from Melee or Soul Split. Anyways, to begin the fight, finish the conversation if you haven't already. After the fight, finish up all the dialogue. Speak to Monkey Mizuru and select option 5, return to colony. Speak to Ghost Monkey again. You get into one more fight, so restock on supplies if you want. This one is a bit harder than the last two, so even if you thought the last two was easy, I would still restock the supplies. I actually did not and almost ran out of food, so I would not recommend that. Anyways, when you're ready, head to Oozer. If you still don't want to restock on food, you can head to the Bindabin camp nearby and take the magic carpet to Oozer. Climb down the staircase, head straight north. Enter the door at the end. Once again, you may want to hold off finishing the conversation so I explain the fight first. This one only uses magic and range attacks, so you can use protection prayers from whichever you're weakest against, or just use soul split. The things that make this one harder is that it simply hits harder, and also at the beginning of the fight, then again at every 25% HP, it'll spawn lesser demons. You must kill the lesser demons before you can attack it, as you can't deal damage to it during that time. You can try to reduce some of this damage by hiding behind the pillars, but this can still be kind of a pain, as you may have to lure lesser demons, and they're actually pretty weak, so it may not even be worth doing. Just try to kill them fast. Anyways, you can finish the conversation and begin the fight if you haven't already. After fight, head north and speak to Kikazaru, who will bring you back to colony. Speak to Three Eyes Monkeys and select option 2. Head back to Pharaoh Queen the Pyramid. You can use fairing code DLQ. Enter Pyramid and select option 1, head directly to Pharaoh Queen. Speak to Senliten and select option 2, talk about do no evil. When that conversation is over, that's going to end the quest. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for future videos to come if you haven't already. There are also links in the description below for my Patreon, donation link, Twitter, Discord where you can interact with me. Donations can also be made directly through YouTube now with thanks option near like button below the video. Anyways, catch you later. Peace.